Ta-da! We made it.
Just in time, guys. We were in Ecuador and studio. We will arrive like jumping on to the desk for the recording time. Hello, Peter. Welcome back.
Hello. It's just nice to see you guys. Thank you very much for being. Just sorry for being a little bit late. And thank you very much for the patience that you wait for us. This is great. And this is always like this. My printer is doing some noise right now, so I don't know really what's going on there. But that's okay. That's the day like this. Because this is the big day, Enrique, isn't it?
Exactly. We are very happy to announce that we reach our weekly goal, and not only in YouTube, also in LinkedIn. So we get on our newsletter, we hit the number, a beautiful number, 10,000 people already subscribed to our channel. 10,000 times thank you to everyone. And why not to keep going? So subscribe again, and a new article related to this interview is going to be released today around midday. So scan the QR code, or go to LinkedIn, the BIM Cafe, and you will find the newsletter there.
This is the funny thing, because I still don't know. I still don't know how we did this, but that's okay. I think that's the part of the beauty of these things. My God. But this is really just in time, guys. As we are speaking, just in time. We have also we really continue pushing. We have the great guest today to talk about it, the great interview, which will be released at 10:30. But as Enrique mentioned, do not forget to subscribe. Are we okay also on the YouTube? How are we looking for our target of 1,000 people by end of June?
We already reached it. We reached 1,000 people already. I think it's 1,012, 10. I think I checked today this morning. So congratulations, and 1,010 thanks to everyone. But we need to keep going. We need to keep going to push it. It's good we reach our goals almost at the last minute of the season. No, but this
is how it works, Enrique. The last minute BIM. This
exactly. This is how construction project works, right? They really arrive and produce and deliver at the last minute. Perfect. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone. I'm very happy to feel your support there. So that makes us energy to keep going. Well, let's jump into today's topic, right, Peter?
Yes. Who we have, what interview will be releasing today, guys. I think that's the big news, of course. But before we will just jump into it, Enrique, I think the week from now, we will be just shifting a little bit the structure. So we will be going on vacation for the 2 months, but we will be thinking about the new season 4 in September and forward. And we will have the special guest joining us live on our streaming to make sure that we will just introduce it differently, and we will try to talk about the new technology in construction. Yeah, guys, it rings the bell. So let's try to see this.
Exactly, yeah. And we're going to relate this with today's interview as well, because this is like a beautiful stream workflow going forward. Today we have the opportunity to present the interview we had with Tommy Cooke, having the pleasure to host him. And he's part of the Build.Docs company, which a company is working with AI in the construction industry. And this is where we want to put our focus for the next season, what is so-called ConTech or construction technology companies, and they're using the latest trends of technology and latest advancement to really make a change and do an impact on the construction industry. So today is about AI, Peter. I know we are all very excited about AI, and we're going to see if really can make something on the construction sector or not, or is just, as always, we're going to keep delivering projects late, and they're going to be misunderstandings and things done on the last minute. So.
Yeah, but Enrique, everybody tells me that we will be replaced by the AI, but I don't think so. That the BIM Cafe is replaceable by AI. Seriously, we're such non-unpredictable that it's not possible to do this.
Yeah. I was about to say, it doesn't make as many mistakes and things last minute like we do. So we are safe there.
The AI will do this perfectly. We are just doing so many mistakes, flops, and etc. That no way, guys. But anyway, thank you very much for being with us. No further ado, let's go for the discussion today.
First question to Tommy, to the AI: how can it help the construction industry? Let's take a look on his view.
Let's go.
Why did you move, or what did call you to go for the AI sector in the industry? Do you think this is the real medicine that we need, or?
Precisely that. I think from working in the industry, what is particularly apparent is the amount of complexity within it, with the lack of control. Every project is unique. Every project has a new team to coming into it. It's made up of many subcontractors, different businesses working in it. And the reality is there is very, very little data captured. There's very little understanding of what is going on in the process. And as such, it's very difficult to learn lessons from one project to another. I mentioned I spent 12 years as a construction director. Throughout every project I did, I probably made the same mistakes on most of them. And this is something that you don't see in perhaps manufacturing and so on. They learn, there's such control over what they're doing that by each time they're sort of, further down the assembly line, the mistakes would never happen again, and the control becomes very precise. With the construction industry, that is the opposite. And what we wanted to do, sorry, Peter.
No, go ahead. I would just already have a question about the data, so go ahead, keep going.
Of course. And I think really when I had I wanted to move into construction technology, and I've had some experience with different construction technology, but as you put it eloquently there, Enrique, moving the needle in construction needs to be something big. It needs to be a big change, not an adaptation of current process and perhaps trying to understand a bit more. It needs to be a sort of, I think the best way to describe it would be control, and gaining control. Now, because of the fragmentation of the industry, it's very hard to do that with humans.
This is exactly what was confirmed, I think, on our discussion, guys. Take a look at it and watch it. I think the whole discussion was really very profound. And so one of the things is saying that we need to learn from previous mistakes, and that's mainly it, right? But all of this technology can help us do it faster. It's just, that's, I think, the whole story is about. Yeah.
And after the 21 episodes and other interviews from the last seasons, we kind of repeat again, like, the construction industry, we don't let from the project data, but here Tommy's putting a new idea there. Like, as humans, we cannot really do that, so let's do that. Just make the machines that help us, the machines, to make this change, managing the data, and provide all the learning that we keep failing on that. So this is what can be a real change on the industry if the AI or the advanced technologies can do this thing we are missing all the time in the construction.
Incroyable. That's something which I think was really good in terms when Tommy just talked about it.
Fantastic. And related to on the second topic we have today is what Tommy was saying again about the data. The data itself is so important. Is really capturing the data is the first project, the first step we need to do for establishing the project and learn from those mistakes. So let's see what Tommy thinks about that stage of capturing the data and how the AI can help on that.
If we have no data, how we will be able just to make a conclusion out of it?
That's exactly the point. And to coin a British phrase, it's you need the tail to wag the dog. Now, to understand the data, we need to capture it well. AI plays its part in capturing data. But typically we have, in the UK, we have something called the Building Safety Act coming in, which is putting requirements on construction sites to be able to monitor what they're doing. AI can leverage that monitoring. So we are seeing more cameras going into sites. We're seeing more IoT, sensors in concrete. We're understanding more about perhaps the delivery, but really with these different streams of data going into different parts of, perhaps going into different parts of the supply chain. We're very good at holding on to the data that's important to one particular part. What we've never really seen in construction is sort of an overhead look at what is going on in the project itself. It might be the fact that the concrete frame subcontractor knows their curing times through internet, IoT stuff. But where does that lead to within the productivity of the whole project? So really, it'd be it's rather a holistic view, but to be able to capture data from all points and bring it together to understand progress of the project is a step which we see as happening more and more, but it's a step we should be striving towards, and not only within a project but across projects, across industry.
across industries.
Across industries, right? So that's, I think, something which is will also just shows that we need to have a bigger picture. But the construction is already enormous. We have a lot of different silos in the construction. If we will start to putting this a bigger part, I think it's unmanageable. Still, construction is unmanageable. So just if you will put a bigger piece of cake, I cannot say it nicely, but I think we need to hope. That's the reason why we're hoping on our BIM Cafe as well, trying just to move the market itself. So.
Mm-hmm. And here we're putting the focus on the first stage, which is capturing the data. Now we see many roles about machine learning operation and data analysis. So all those people work on a massive set of data, which the machine can use it to provide results, analysis, or a statement that can be based on that. No? But if we don't capture well that data, all the results, analysis, and so on, they're going to be wrong. So that's why Tommy was correctly saying that we need to put the focus, and it's fundamental to see how we capture that data. And it's something we haven't been doing perfectly, or we haven't been doing at all on the construction industry. So now is the moment to set a new starting point and say, okay, from now we're going to capture data properly, structured, and so on. This is come with the BIM files and models, IFC structures, and so on. So we want to put every single value on a uniform place, so everyone can understand it. Right?
But that's my problem, Enrique, right? If we're talking uniform place, I don't think so it will fly, because the world is different. And knowing our Latin culture, or your Latin culture, my Slav culture, we already just started having the different places to putting our data. So I think unified data for the construction is the same thing as talking between Spanish and Polish, right? I'm just no way, right? That's the reason why we fight. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, that's where we play the episode there with Paul Wilkins. So you remember about interoperability, so that can be the bridge moving forward. No, well, this is I know it's an important topic. Same as our next one that you were asking also, Tommy, about the small and medium enterprises, how they will struggle to invest with the AI, because of course, sounds very fancy,
right?
But when you have 10 people and you have 5 projects, you really have no time to think about, oh my God, we're going to put like this amount of $1 million euros on the AI. So let's see how those small companies can afford the high investment of the newest technology.
Will be able just to influence the small construction companies to do this kind of move?
You pick up a very, very good point, and it's I mean, it's not just the small construction companies. You can sell to the biggest construction company in the world, and they'll expect a return on investment. So it's about being able to use the data to find tangible productivity gains, and that's the key. If they know that they can finish a project quicker, it doesn't matter how big the team is. You can start to put a return on investment case together. Also, one thing that AI is particularly good at is identifying risk, and risk mitigation. It's almost like buying yourself an insurance policy, to be able to see things that humans perhaps to explain it another way, humans have the ability to quite easily be optimistic, bias, put any kind of subjectivity around what something that is objective. This can have just as an impactful effect on a tiny project as it could on a big project, or a small company as it could on a big company. Everybody strives towards an outcome certainty, and humans are just not very well inclined. The human psyche is not well inclined to give objective views. This is where computer science is wonderful, because it can do the menial tasks that you won't see, that take humans a long time, but it gives it in a binary reply. There's no context to it. Now, there are plenty of occasions where context is required, but on the whole, it's not so much. So really, in order to encourage the sort of filter down effect to these smaller companies, you need to give the rewards, and there needs to be tangible benefit to doing this. You're right, it can't just be, oh, AI is what the industry is doing, let's spend money and we'll see what happens. It needs to be a sort of a proven business case where you can. Now,
business case, that's our light motive for all of our parts. But with Tommy, it was really just nice to talk about it, and it was much more friendly than with the others. So it just was good.
I tell you what, Tommy, in other words, he was saying, let's don't do with AI what we're doing with BIM. Like we just hear this buzzword, we just invest on it, we don't get result, we get peace, and now BIM is the ugly boy on the sector, right? So just think properly, invest when you really have time understanding the risks. He was saying something for me is very legitimate. This AI is very good identifying the risks and mitigating them. So it's something the human can miss or skip. Of course, you always need to have this critical eye. I will say this is my position against AI. Yes, totally come over, replace as many jobs as you think you can do, but always keep one human there to analyze and question what you're doing, because not any machine are perfect. No? Maybe you disagree with that, right, Peter? You always say like the computers never fail. Well, sometimes they can, but because of the data pool, right? We go back again in a loop to the same thing. The information you provide to the machines also can lead to a failure. So if they are based on wrong information, who is guilty, the machine or the person who provides the wrong information?
Yeah, no, computer fails from time to time. Depends,
Mhm.
of course, the people who just put them in whatever they put the people put in them, right? But anyway, that's the normal stuff. Yeah, no, I think I like the whole concept of the buzzwords, etc. Right? I think we're right now. I'm expecting even ourselves. We were talking, Enrique, as you remember, that just stop using BIM, but we already have the BIM Cafe, so we cannot change the title because it will be
Yeah,
just not. So the BIM Cafe will stay, but I think we will stop thinking only about BIM and really just try to look up the digital transformation, how to put the new technologies, etc. So we will keep it, but I think we also convinced right now that's not the way to go really going forward.
Totally. But we learn from the mistakes, right? Well, let's keep moving forward and learn more from the nice conversation we have with Tommy. And now we're going to talk again about the importance of the data provided to the machines. And in this case, a specific case that Tommy and Bill Dodds are working on is with the images. It's not only the data as numbers of values, also the images, how image recognition can help the industry, and the AI playing a very important role over there.
Right.
Some amazing solutions out there. I know a couple of products that are analyzing past data from projects to identify risk on future projects. So they'll take thousands and thousands of schedules or outcomes of projects, and use that sort of AI analytics to find what are the commonalities between these problems and can identify risk. It's a hugely powerful tool to be able to bring that into a sort of a current project. But you're right. How do we use, how do we take data from now and ensure that we're making the best of it in order to make decisions of current data, and also leave a data pool which makes sense for future projects moving forward. So we should always rely on the past data. We should always look at that, find commonality, but we shouldn't perhaps build. We should look for risk in that. We should look for trends in that. But that's not going to give us such I suppose such definitive decision-making power as data that you're collecting as you're going along. I think where you want to understand is you want to take multiple data sources that you're collecting at any one time and be able to find out trends, find where risks come up. I think probably the most easy way of explaining that for us is we're using photographic imagery, and the AI that we run on that is twofold. One, there is image recognition, which is comparing design to the reality and saying this has not been put in the right place, or this should have been installed by now and it hasn't been. So we bring in program information. But also you can use machine learning as well, which is where you're training the AI to understand what it can see in images. So it can identify what stud work looks like, or it can identify what floor finishes look like. So that's using data that's collected immediately and offering insight. It can understand it and offer insights straight away. So there's sort of twofold, isn't there? There's the historic data that we can run analysis upon and bring out insights, and then there's the data you're collecting at any one time, and you can base decisions off that, having AI make sense of different types of input streams.
Yeah, the imaging, I think the part is really just the wide and the pretty open, pretty already well advanced in the different domains, not in the construction. So I think that will be really big chance to do this with all of the data, everything. We have the questions from the guys on the chat. So thank you very much for asking the questions, and this is really great to see it. We have the questions about as a new employee, how we can start it to. Who has just started, what will be the career as a BIM modeler? My God, this is a difficult question. Why are you asking us, me and Enrique, this question? But
Go away and don't be a BIM modeler, no?
No, but I think one of the things which I see really how the industry is going, do not close yourself only to the BIM. Just try to really look at the different technologies which will be going around you right now. So try to think about learn as much as you can things which can be interfering with the BIM itself, and that will give you the very wide perspective, and then you can just really go into particular one. My goal will be not really learning one specific tool. Just try to think about the open standards. Try to think about it. Of course, you need to work in the one tool to make sure that you do the projects, but then start to think, how the other construction companies, if you're working in manufacturing, how the others will use it. If you're working as a project manager on the construction, you're helping build the projects, how the architects will just be able to use it, how the manufacturers, how the construction site will use it, etc., etc. So try to put already just openness in your mindset. I'm not sure if it's valid, but I will just do this.
Yeah. I agree with you. I hope this is a well accepted answer. I agree the same. Just diversify and learn about everything, not just BIM and Revit or ArchiCAD or whatever it is. Well, let's continue with our next clip. This is something very interesting that we were asking also Tommy. Okay, we know the industry is very segregated. How do we make it work better and have more control with the AI? As he was saying, segregating it more, dividing all the activity into the smallest item possible.
AI.
Yeah, AI. So let's see what is his view on this.
AI.
Break down each activity to an activities to sort of a particular activity on site. There is more sort of I suppose you can look at them in those ways to understand the pace of something, to understand halfway through that you won't finish on time rather than towards the end, because the AI has run an algorithm to say that at this rate you won't finish at this time. It's about understanding and getting control. I think that's really sort of a lot of the key. But to your point there, I love that sort of generative AI in design. I think that's going to start to flow over into production or into construction by modular, by your kit of the AI will understand what is an optimal way to build this building as well. So not just taking your client's desires as the outcome and the site conditions, but actually how can we build this in an efficient way? What resources can we take off site? And I think again something that would perhaps take an army to understand can be delivered by algorithms. Nobody on site really has time to think about and analyze and understand. And also, if they can get presented with the results for it in the first place, well, a little bit more expense here is going to save us a huge amount of time there. It's getting that control of the project. It's saying where are our bottlenecks and finding practical solutions and making decisions based on understanding. Perhaps nobody in this site would have known that was a bottleneck without AI being able to understand it. When I was working on site, I would only know something was late after it was late. If you know something's going to be late on the in the first 25% of that activity, then you can do something about it.
So we still AI. I'm not sure which the pronunciation we're supposed to use it really, but I think we finally get into something which is nitty gritty. I find as you mentioned here, it's just a small task, make it sure that you can control it.
And I like the last seconds of the clip I put it from the interview, because I think it's very interesting. Say usually on the construction side, when something is late when it happened already, when it's late, and with this we can foresee this type of events and do something about them. No, so this is what is important for the AI in general, for the sector.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm just not sure if it really flies this the way. I'm just willing to see it because when we work on the different, and we have experience with you have experience with modeling, I have experience with project management, and usually, of course, we will be able to predict it, and then we will just have the yellow light saying, "Oh, it will be late," and we will happy we correct it to green, and another one it will become red immediately because you forget something happened which is unpredictable, like today, traffic. Cut off the network, being late, being kicked off, whatever. This has never happened before us. 21 episodes, you said? Never happened before.
always surprise and room for new things here. Well, let's move into our next clip, and we're gonna talk about. Okay, we have this now, and what is coming next? Because we were agreeing that the few months on AI, new benefits and improvements, it seems like 10 years in any other technology, things are going very fast. So Tom is giving us a small, in a nutshell, at does it overlook the technology and the new advancement that is coming on the market in the next month. So let's listen to it, and with this we close the episode.
To project management. So the idea is that you're using generative AI to type in a question like, this is my project, here's my program, here are my designs, what are my biggest risks? And it could output, and it could also consult with legislation, it could consult with building regulations, it can consult with all these different data sources and come out and give you an output that will say, right, you must, you need to watch out for this. This trips other companies up. This is an important part of legislation, which we've seen people have to do rework based upon. I mean, to have, this sort of almost like virtual assistant to the project is a wonderful concept. I was really taken aback by the power of this. And this is, we say a few months down the line. This I saw a demo. I mean, it was, it's wonderful. So you have to think, where would we be in 6 months? It's such a long way in AI. It's incredible how fast it develops and what we can see. But I definitely think that there's a spot for AI alongside what they call HI, human intelligence in construction. It's if we were building in a manufacturing facility, yes, we could remove the human input. But I think the part with construction is, whilst we want to automate and control as much as we can, we're always subject to in sort of the environment and a new plot, a new design, a new whatever. So I always see that those two working in harmony. And I think that where AI is really pushing at the moment is both that sort of the understanding, the knowledge, of the construction site, which I talked about a lot before, but also the user interface to make sure that we can engage well with people who are using this on site. We've also, in our industry, we know we've got a slightly aging workforce. We need to encourage people into the industry. We have a shortage of skills. I do think this sort of technology is going to bring about new types of roles in the industry.
Role models.
So if there were not enough acronyms and new things, we talk now about human intelligence, the HI, and Toby was also saying as well that it can play a very important role on it and how to develop the project management in general. It's going to change very, very soon on the construction and any other field.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you, Enrique, I reach my level of the human intelligence myself. I cannot take it more. It's fine. I'm on the capacity, and there's just no way to get it more.
Let's write down the human intelligence for one of the future topics for the season 4 on the BIM Cafe, and maybe we can explore a bit of that. Anyway,
that's it.
Well, that was the end of today's episode. A bit rushed by traffic and many other things, but we made it.
Everything's went perfect. Thank you very much for all joining. We have, I think, a very good number of the viewers, the number of the viewers and the streamers. So thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for asking the questions. I think we will changing the formula for the season 4. So just do not hesitate. Join us after vacation. The next week is the final one with one of the big star of the technology and digital markets, Benjamin Ben. So just you will be able just to hear and just we will be able to exchange a little bit about the meeting itself and how the construction market will go. No further ado, we are 31, we are late, but that was a great. Thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube. Thank you very much for 10,000 on the LinkedIn. It's really, I don't know how these guys are doing this. I think this is like
Oh my God, that's new. I don't know. I like doing the hard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We should do this
hard.
now. Give us support, no?
Thank you for your
Thank
support.
you so much, guys. The newsletter, you can scan the QR code and join our YouTube channel. Again, scan the QR code there on the top and join, and keep giving us this support. And also a last thank you to Bill Dodds and to Tommy for participating on the BIM Cafe. It was a great discussion with you, Tommy, and we appreciate you guys enjoying. Now it's going to be released live, so go to YouTube and watch the full interview. Very interesting, talking about AI in the construction industry. That's all from my side. Bam. Have a happy Friday, everyone. We see you last week for the last time on this summertime. There will be the final season of the season number 3
Next
of the BIM Cafe. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Enrique, as well. Thanks a lot.
Bye.